And Shalom, 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 Israel. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. Welcome to another Thursday. Thunder. Hey, if y'all haven't already, hit the like button. Share this so that we can get this out. Soldiers, go into the chat, let them know that the class started. I know we started a little bit later than normal tonight. But there's a reason for that, and y'all are gonna find that out. Y'all gonna find out why. We had to get some stuff situated and get the lesson prepared exactly how we needed it to be for this brother that's gonna be speaking tonight. Before we get into all that, before we get started with any other stuff, you know how we do it over here. SOT. A couple announcements. First of all, August 6th through the 8th, right here in Atlanta, it will be hosted by us. August 6th, we will be having August 7th, we'll have the actual summit. Starts at noon in Smyrna. That's in Smyrna. And on August the 8th, we will have a family and the time announced shortly. Please, if you haven't already made plans to attend, get that done. Let's get that done. Let's get that in. You're gonna want to be here. Trust me, you're gonna want to be here. Also, Feast of Tabernacles coming up. You want to come to Feast of Tabernacles, you need to RSVP, let us know. Space is limited. We do not have a big spot this time. Well, we do, but we kind of enjoy this spot, so we kind of keeping it a little local, keeping it to ourselves. So you got to let us know in advance, so we can make sure we got room for you and let everybody know. Well, basically, so we can make sure we got make sure we got room for you. Because after that, we're going to take care of everything. We enjoy hosting feast days because we get to actually serve the Most High and serve the people. So everything else will be taken care of. Besides that, that's a lot, bro. But before we get to talking about all the extra stuff in the world, I do want to make one thing clear. Tonight's class is not like any of the other classes. Tonight's class will be brought to y'all concerning not what we got going on over here in America. It's time for y'all to actually see that Jake got to deal with stuff everywhere. So tonight's lesson, tonight, at the bottom of the screen right there, the brother from. Well, I'll let when he gets to talking to us lesson, he'll explain to you where he's from and what we're talking about. You see the title of the lesson. Who are the Akans? What better way to actually prove who the Akans are than having somebody that actually lives in that region where they're from? All right. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. I'm gonna let these two brothers introduce themselves. I'm gonna let them, and then I'm gonna let them kick off the lesson. Brothers, you have the floor.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. This is Soldier Barnabas, Sons of Thunder. Shalom.
Akan, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shai Barakatah. This is Soldier Bezali. I am in the western coast of Africa, Ghana. I'm a soldier of Sons of Thunder.
Con, hey, put a 7 in the put a 12 in the chat if you can hear him. Let's just make sure everything's good. He is in Ghana right now, so his internet works just slightly different from ours. So let's just put a 7 in the chat if you can to make sure everybody can hear what he's saying.
Y'all be patient with us, Israel. All right. So I say, like I the one that said, he's coming from across the seas, so his internet is going to be a little delayed. All right. So we're trying to rectify that just now. So let's be patient with us and follow along with the studies and enjoy. All right. And first of all, we are a Bible school, so get your tools. All right. You have your King James Bible, you have your Apocrypha, you have your pen, your marker, and a pad, so you can take notes. All right. This is going to be entertaining, family. So don't miss it. Don't miss it.
Con, let's go ahead and start your lesson. You got the floor.
Khan. Shalom, mighty people. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatam. I said, I am Soldier Bezali, and I can be located in the coast of Africa. And tonight, I have a lesson to share with you tonight. We are going to learn about the Akans. Who are the Akan people that live in the western coast of Africa, and also that has been scattered all over the world. So tonight we are going to talk about great people. So I would like to start my lesson the scripture from the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 2.
All right, you say Psalm 73 and 2?
78 and 2.
78 and 2, come.
And the book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 2.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 2. I will open my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old.
Can. So this is the reason I decided to bring this scripture. Among the Akan people, we are the only people that still talk in parables. So tonight I'm going to start my lesson with a parable. Adwan Barnabas, have I ever tell you about the mama mosquito before?
The mama mosquito. Nah, I can't remember that one.
Yes, the parable about the mosquito. Adwan Banaya, have you heard that parable before?
Con, I heard it when you told it the other day, but I love that parable. Tell it again, please. I want to hear it again.
Con. Then I would like to share with my brothers and sisters who are watching right now. So, there was a mama mosquito and a daughter mosquito. And this mama mosquito gave an advice to the daughter mosquito, to people of mankind. One day when mama mosquito was not around, little mosquito decided to fly around. And little mosquito where beings can be located. And everybody was trying to kill the little mosquito. They were trying to kill it. Everybody was trying to kill the little mosquito. And very, very fortunate for the little mosquito, it was able to escape. When the little mosquito got home, it told the mama that, "Mama, you are such a liar, because you told me that human beings are not friendly. Human beings are not good. But today I went and visited them, and every one of them was clapping for me. They went for me." Then mama mosquito came to understand that one day the little mosquito will die. Now, why am I bringing this? Give me the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 13.
Khan. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 13. Separate thyself from thine enemy. Salakia. Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends.
Can. So we've been warned by our forefathers, the prophets, that we have to make sure that we don't mingle with the enemy. But every time we tell the people, separate ourselves from the enemy, this is what they do to us. They give us the middle finger. Understand? And sometimes they give us all types of hand swords. Telling them, give me the book of Proverbs chapter 13, because this modern generation, this is what we normally say. We say that we are wiser than our forefathers. Everything much better than our forefathers. So let's see if that is the case. So give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 11 to 13.
Akan. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 11. There is a generation that curseth their father, and doeth not bless their mother. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up.
So this scripture is talking about us. We think we are wiser than our forefathers, but the scripture is saying we are still in our filthiness. We are in a low state of mind. We think that we know better than our forefathers. They want to listen to any advice that's been given to us as a nation of people. Understand? We've been dependent on the enemy to tell us our history, but tonight we're not going to do that. Tonight we are going to tell our own history. We are not going to depend on no Gentile to tell us what we are supposed to know. We are going to tell our own history. So the question is, who are the Akans? Who are the Akans? That's the question. Now, when we talk of the Akans, sometimes people try to link us, the Akan people, a certain man in the book of Joshua chapter 7 by the name Akan, but that is not the case. When we say Akan, we are saying we are Akan before, Jeye Akan before. And the word Akan before in my native tongue, which is the Twi language, it means leaders. So every time we say we are Akans, we are referring to ourselves as leaders. Akan people is a largest ethnic group in Ghana. We make up to 47 of the population of Ghana. And these are the Akan group. We have Bono. The Bono people can be located in Bono Ahafo region, and that's where I come from. That's where my father comes from. I'm of my father. And we have the Ashes or Asante. We have Adanse. We have Chufo. We have Asen. We have Fante or the Fantis, which is also known as people from the tribe of Benjamin. Because during slave trade, the so-called white people took the people who lived in the coastal areas of Ghana, places like Cromante. The so-called white people shipped them to the Caribbeans, mainly in Jamaica. So we know that the people live in Jamaica, the Cromante people, they are of Benjamin. Now, we have the Equiapem, we have Achim, we have Akwamu, and we have Kwau, Sefi, Enzima, and Ahanta. All these names that I just mentioned to you are Akans. So when we say Akans, we are referring to these names that I just mentioned to you. And it means we are leaders. And of course, we are leaders. We, the Akans, we know that we are the first people who had a deep knowledge about the Creator, because we are the first people that goes to his people. So Give me the book of Psalms. Give me the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19 to 20.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
That's right.
He had not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known it.
Why you bring that out,
Akan. So we know that Yahweh gave his judgment, his statutes, his laws unto Israel according to the scriptures. We know that Yahweh did not give his laws to any other nation but the nation of Israel. Learn certain things tonight, because we've been hearing that people are saying the people, Ashanti people, are Gentiles. They are Hamites. That is not the case. So we are going to go through the scriptures and bring certain things that we still keep down, which is more. We are going to go through the scriptures to bring a cost. We will go to the scriptures and bring a whole bunch of proof that Akan people are the true children of Israel. And at the end of the lesson, you will with the scriptures and also what I have to tell you tonight. So we see ourselves, we had a pure knowledge from the Most High. We know that our first forefather Adam was an Akan because he had direct action with the Creator. Certain things our forefather Adam knew, he passed it to his his next generation. So we know that we, the Akan people, we are descendants from Adam, from Seth to Abraham, from Abraham to Isaac and Jacob, and also our forefathers. We Akan people, we are from the tribe of Judah, from the Yemen, because 70 when Jerusalem was destroyed, three main from Jerusalem coast of Africa, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. These three brothers came here, and we know that we are the same descendants of those people who came down here. So we are going to go through the scriptures and bring some of the customs till this day. Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 5 to 6. So Jabaya, can I get that? The book of
Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom, King.
Deuteronomy 25. What verse was it? Sorry.
Yeah, that's Deuteronomy 25, verse 5 to 6.
Khan. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verse 5.
5 to 6.
If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband her husband's brother shall go into her and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in his name, in the name of his brother, and which is dead, that the name be not put out of Israel.
Can. So, according to the scriptures we just read, it says, if brethren dwell together and if one of the brother died, the wife of that brother is not supposed to go outside and marry a stranger. The brother's husband have married and bear a children for the dead. We, the Akan people, we knew this custom way back before the so-called white people came to reintroduce the Bible to us. We know that the Bible is our record. And it was told from us.
Salakia. Bezalel, try to take off your camera and see if that will help. Take your camera off and speak. So just in case to see that, because you're chopping up.
Salaki Yasharala, Adawan Bezalel is all the way in Ghana, and also technology ain't as quick as we're used to in the east, in the west. Sorry, so we have to bear that in mind and have a bit of forgiveness and understanding.
Look like he grows up. He's trying to come back right now. Yeah. All right, you back out.
You can hear us? Bezalel.
Network just off. Now, let's proceed. Give me the Numbers chapter 19, verse 16 to 19.
Bezalel, turn your camera off. Just turn your camera off. So that way the audio will be.
Let's see another law that
Bezalel, could you hear me? Could you hear me, Bezalel?
Chapter 19.
They'll say, take off your camera. Leave your mic on. Just take your camera off and see if that helps, because you're breaking up. All right, go ahead. You say Numbers 19 and what?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Khan. You say Numbers 19 and what?
Okay, Khan. Numbers chapter 9, verse 16 to 19.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 19, verse 16. It says, and whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for an unclean person, they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification of sin, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that toucheth a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave.
Khan. So this scripture we just read, before the so-called white people came down here to reintroduce our records to us, our forefathers, they were keeping all these laws. Even a place where I live, we still keep these laws. Because every time we go to the funeral, or we go to the burial, every time we go to cemetery, we are not supposed to go into our houses without purifying ourselves. There is an herb, there is a leaf that we have to put it in the running water to purify ourselves before we enter into our houses. So if the Akan people are Gentiles, now the question is, where do they get this excellent commandment from? Because we know that if you get close to a dead body, or when you go to a graveyard, you are a defiled person. And nobody among us did not want himself to be defiled. So every time we go to the cemetery, we make sure to purify ourselves before we enter into our houses. All these customs our forefathers kept, and they left it to us. So those of us who still have knowledge of the Most High, we still keep these commandments till this day. Now, there is another commandment that we, the Akan people, we've been keeping for a very, very good long time. Give me the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 19 to 24.
You got it? You got it, Marcus? You muted, King. You muted.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse
The book of
19.
Leviticus.
Go ahead, Abaya.
19 to 24.
Can. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the eve. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her, and whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the eve. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the eve. And if it be on her bed, or anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the eve. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereupon he lieth shall be unclean.
So all these commandments, we have been keeping all these commandments till this day. Our forefathers used to have multiple wives because of this commandment. Because we know that every time a woman is in her menses, she is unclean. So we don't deal with a woman who have blood on her during her menstrual cycle. We don't do that. Our forefathers knew all these things, and we were taught by them not to do those things, to deal with a woman when a woman is in her menstrual cycle. But when Christianity came down here in western coast of Africa, when the so-called white people came with their dirty philosophy called Christianity, they've been able to brainwash the people. And now the people think it is okay to deal with a woman while she is still in her menses. Therefore, the people down here, now they've been defied because of the ideas or the philosophy of the so-called white man. But our forefathers knew these laws way back before the existence of the so-called white man. Now, give me the book of Genesis, chapter 1. Sorry, the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 1.
Kind of one. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heaven and the earth were finished.
Now we are reading up to verse 3.
Kind of one. Thus this book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heaven and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
Right.
Can. So this is talking about the Sabbath. And the Sabbath, the Akan people, we've been keeping this law for a very, very good long time. Even when we were in Jerusalem, we were keeping these laws before 70 AD. And after we got here in the western coast of Africa, we've been keeping these laws. Those of us who still have the right mind, we still keep these laws till this day. And I would like to tell you a mystery about number 7, the number 7. So if brothers and sisters who are listening or who are watching, if you really want to hear that mystery, put 7 in the chat. Because there is a mystery behind 7 when it comes to we the Akan people. There is a great mystery. So if you really want to hear that mystery, put 7 in the chat right now.
Y'all better put some 7s in the chat. I want to hear this mystery.
Kind of like an interactive TNT.
You got 7s. They go a bunch. I'm curious now. You need to let me know.
Adwan, are we getting 7?
Yeah, we got a bunch of 7s.
It's like I don't want Barnabas. You need to turn your screen sideways. Can.
Go ahead, King. Let us know the mystery of the 7.
The water.
Can. Now, let me bring this up. When we Akan people, when we hear the word 7, we don't joke with the number 7. We don't joke with it. The reason is we know that 7 is number of perfection. 7 is completion. So we don't joke with number 7. In the local language, it is called Enson. In the Twi local language, it is called Enson. This is the reason we don't joke with number 7. We know that when Yahweh created the whole universe, he rested on the seventh day. And we believe that that is the day of Yahweh. So among the Akan people, if a male child is born on Saturday, we call the child Kwame. And this is the reason we call the child Kwame. Kwame is the great title of the Creator. We believe that he is a God of Saturday. So every time we have a male child on Saturday, we name the child Kwame. Therefore, we call Otumfuo Nyankopon, we call Yahweh Twediampon Kwame.
Say it again, King. Say it again, King.
We call him Twediampon Kwame Basayadom.
Now,
As a matter of fact,
Salakias.
Yahweh has a whole bunch of names when it comes to. Adwan, I can't hear you.
Salakias. Well, I'm gonna touch on what you just saying to actually line me back on what the brother just mentioned. I'm gonna actually put my name out there, right? Because my name I was named after the Ghanaian system. Basically, my first name is Kwesi, which supposed to be they told me it means born on a Tuesday or I think it's something like that, born on a Tuesday or born on a Saturday or something like that it is. But it's more popular like the west coast of Ghana. So like it's the same thing what the brother saying right there. So I'm actually proof of what he's saying right there. So they do go off of that because I was named after that same side of the world. My worldly name. Go ahead, Brazilian.
Can. So we the Akans, we name our children based on events. So we know that Yahweh has a particular day, which is a special day for Yahweh. And we know that there are certain days which are ordinary days. So Akan people, we call the Most High, the Creator, Nana Nyankopon, Onyam Kropon. When we say Onyam Kropon, we are referring to the Most High, Yahweh, that he is the only one honorable power. Onyam Kropon. He is the only one honorable who deserves all praise. So Akan people, we know the Creator from the beginning, before the so-called white man came here to reintroduce the Bible to us. And our forefathers had a certain knowledge about the so-called white man. They never ever called the so-called white people. They never called Esau white man. They called them Akwesi Oko, Akwesi Abro Eni. The reason they named the so-called white man Akwesi is that the so-called white people were the ones who brought Sunday worship on this side of the world. There was nothing like Sunday worship. So our forefathers named the so-called white people, the red man, they named them Akwesi Abroni, Akwesi Koko. And in the local language, when we say Koko, it means red. So the forefathers had a big knowledge concerning these devils. They were calling them Akwesi Koko, Akwesi Abro Eni. And here when we say Abroni, it means someone who doesn't have a right mindset. Abro Eni.
Appropriate.
Someone who doesn't have a right mindset. So forefathers knew certain things about these devils, because when they came, they deceived our forefathers from the right path. So when forefathers came to realize, they said, these people has done us abroad. They have deceived us. They have made us depart from the right path. So they were calling them abroad for. It's only we, the modern generation, we refer to these devils as white people. But there is no such thing. I don't think Adwan Banaya, you have seen a white person before. No, there is no such thing.
Never.
We know them to be red devils, red people. You understand? So when these red devils came down here, they came with a brainwash. But we know that it was the Most High who sent them here. It was the Most High who sent the so-called white man here to drag us all into slavery, because that was the time. It was an appropriate time for prophecies to come to fulfill. So the so-called white man came, which we are going to go to the scriptures concerning that also. So when the so-called white people came, there was nothing like Sunday worship here. Our forefathers, they were keeping all the feast days. They were keeping the Sabbath. They were keeping the new moons. And every new moon, they had to make sure to blow the trumpet before they start the feast days. So Jabaya, give me the book of Psalms, chapter 81, verse 3. And Adwan Banaya, I think I sent you a photo.
Which one you want? The one, the blowing of the horns?
Can Adwan.
Salakia Bezalel. Let me because if y'all see what the brother bringing out, man, from the beginning, since he started, you notice he's basically lining up, and this is what a lot of our people used to, have discussions and debate about, talking about is the people over in there, Africa, they're real Israel, and all, and the brother is basically bringing the lining up, connecting the dots right now, right, and bringing it from that side of town, right, and showing that we do have people that's still in those lands, that's still living in that place, because that's going off of what the curse said, right? He said that we'd be set into captivity near and far. So we do have brothers in that land, and showing you that the brothers were keeping the laws of the Most High, right? And like he brought out earlier, the laws are only given to Jacob, right? Matter of fact, in Second Esdras, what is that? Second Esdras, I think it was 3, right? Second Esdras 3 and 36. But it talks about that same thing. It says, thou shalt find that Israel by name had kept my precepts, but not the heathens, right? So it's showing that majority of the time, or like how it mentioned in John, it says, my sheep hear my voice. Our people is the ones that's keeping the laws of the Most High. We're the ones that's actually trying to strive for that, because we have that zeal, but majority of our people don't have the knowledge. So this is important for our people to hear this type of history, because majority of the time, our people just don't know the history, and that's why we don't know nothing, man. Our people choose to live the Isaiah 1 and 3 path. They don't know nothing, and they don't consider it, right? But the brother is bringing a good point right now, and bringing everything into the fruition, and bringing it to the light, and letting people know, hey, our people are over there too, man. You know what I'm saying? The spirit will identify. Like Paul say, we can tell who not real African. You can tell how they treat us. But then they got our people who just don't know our history, so they want to hold on to something so much. So they call themselves Egyptians. They call themselves all kind of stuff, man. In Jamaica, they call themselves from Ethiopia. And a lot of times it's just doctrines that's trying to line up. Like, this is the type of stuff that, that we need to get back to our history, man. It's important, man. Go ahead and bring that out, Bezalel. Keep going, man. You do a great job, man.
And Salaki, Adawan, just to add to what you're saying, that's exactly what came to my mind. Like when Adawan said that, they blow the trumpets. And when you think about it, they're actually blowing the trumpets and they don't even understand or know why they're blowing the trumpets. They think it's for another reason besides the actual biblical or the scriptural reasons, But I digress. But this is Psalms chapter 81, verse 3. Blow up the trumpets in the new moon, in the time appointed, on our solemn feast day.
Can. So every feast day, we the Akan people, we make sure to blow the trumpet, like what is on your screen right now. Our forefathers have been keeping this till this day. We always make sure to walk on the right path. So the thing that you see is our new moon. It is called Akwesidai. Akwesidai is the name of our feast day, of our new moon. And also, there is another new moon that we've been keeping, which is the Day of Atonement. We keep the Day of Atonement also. It is called Ejura. And in the local language, when we say Ejura, it means purification, sanctification. And every time when that feast is at hand, there is an herb that we need to purify ourselves with. It is called Ejura. It's the same as what you know as hyssop. So we've been keeping all the feast days of the Most High till this day. But those of us who think they've been Americanized, or those of us who think that they've been, they want to go in a white man's way, they don't want to keep these feast days any longer. They have departed from their heritage. Therefore, they don't know where to go. They don't know their whereabouts. They just walk like blind people. And every religion or every philosophy, they hold on to it. When the so-called white man came, he established something. He came with a slave ship, right? The so-called white man came with a slave ship. When the so-called white man came with, he never slave ships. Now, Adwan, if I show you this, can you see? Can you see it?
You need to go to Adawan Bezalel's screen, Adawan.
Yeah, I am. Hold on.
Can you see it?
You will have to shift to your left, Bezalel. Yeah. Back up a little bit.
Can you
Back
see
up
it?
a little bit. Yep.
So if I show you this,
yep.
What does it look like?
Pull your hand back a little bit.
It looked like a Christian church to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
If I show you this, what does it look like?
Folly Church.
Baptist church.
Can. Now, we are going to turn it upside down. But this time, we are going to remove that dirty symbol on top. We are going to remove that dirty, stinking symbol on top.
So that it's a slave ship.
Now, let us turn it upside down.
God.
Now,
all praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High, man.
What do you see?
Hey,
Is it not the
ships, man.
same? Not the
Same
same?
thing. Same thing.
That's the same old dirty system. That's the old dirty system that the so-called people came here with. Now, when the so-called white people came, they came with their stinking slave ships. When they were going back, they never went away with their stinking slave ships. They left it in our shores. And now it is called Baptist, Anglican, Presby, CAC.
Bring it out.
But when the so-called white man came, you know, he came with the name of these ships. When he came, these are the names that was written on the stinking ships that he came with. He came with a ship by name Jesus. He came with a ship by the name Hope. While we brothers down here, we did not get that hope. Now they came with a ship called Liberty, while the black man down here did not get liberty. They came with a ship called Brotherhood.
Bring it
while
out.
they were putting us to death.
Oh.
They came with a ship called Santa Maria. And they came with another ship called God is Able. They came with a ship called Glory of Africa. Yes, they named it that way because they were stealing our gold. They were stealing from us. And later they enslaved us all. We, the children of Israel, living the western coast of Africa and the rest of the part of the world, they enslaved us. You see how they came with those names. So if you see a ship that has a name like Jesus, you think, oh, it's okay. But at the end of the day, they did a lot of evil to us. So give me the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21.
What you asked for, King?
I got it.
Precept out.
I got it. Other one. But I got a precept if I may before that.
Let me know what Bezalel asked for, and you pull out your precept. What Bezalel called?
55 verse 21. Psalms.
On which one? Psalms 55 and 21. Go ahead and get your precept, King.
Precept is Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. And it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So that's, that's going into exactly what Adawan and Bezalel is talking about. They came with, all this smooth talk, and they came in peace, and they had all these ships that were called all these glorious names, but it was just all in an act to deceive the people because of their wickedness. You can't really trust it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
that's facts, right? And I actually was holding that earlier. I thought he was going to pull that earlier, right? That's why I said I didn't want to pull it too quick. I didn't want to pull it too quick. I like, he got to pull this route, right? He got to have this. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to pull it, but that's facts, man. Right? That also goes with Jeremiah 10, right? Following out the ways of the heathen, man. Like you said, we've been deceived by their customs and their ways. And we are following their ways still till this day. Still till this day, we are following their ways and rejecting the righteousness of the Most High, man. Right? But we have a remnant of our people, like what we are doing right now. We're trying to lift up Israel because that's our due diligence. So we out here trying to raise up the elect, right, and bring them back to their righteous place, man. But we have to do that in all lands, because that's where we were scattered. So this is what the brother bringing up. We can't neglect our brothers and sisters over there in Africa over there as well too. You see what I'm saying? So we always spoke about it, but it's finally coming out. Right? We always talked about we want to do something about the brothers over there in the land over there too, and it's finally we finally trying to deal with it right now. All right. So just keep that in mind, man. We got brothers all over the place, but not all skin folk is skin folk. Don't get tied up. Don't get tied up. All right. Your precept 20. Go ahead, bring it up, King. Bring it up.
Khan. Book of Psalm, chapter 55, verse 21.
Salaki, before you do
Khan.
Go ahead, Adawan.
Before you do I want a sister for the donation. We appreciate it. When you get a chance, come feast with us, man. Please come feast with us.
Khan. The water, sister.
The water. This book of Psalm, chapter 55, verse 21. The word of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Khan.
Going right along with that precept.
So the so-called white with a very, very, with innocent face. But when we realized we were in shekels, we were in chains. When we realized he was stealing our gold. Understand? So we know that these people are very, very evil. They did not came here with the right mindset. And after they were going back to Europe, they left that stinking ships behind. Like I said, now it is called Presby. Let me tell you where Methodist started from in Ghana here. Now, the Church of Methodist started from Cape Coast Castle. It started from the Cape Coast Castle. It is called Carlsberg Castle. Carlsberg Castle in Cape Coast. The Portuguese built that castle in 1555. That was the year they built that castle. That is where Methodist Church started from. In the same castle, they were enslaving our forefathers. They were brainwashed our forefathers. That was the same place they established a church called Methodist. These
right.
True servants of God. Now, another church that they established, it is called Presbyterian Church. It started in Osu Castle. That castle is also known as Christianborg Castle, which is in Accra. They built that castle in 1660s. In the 1660s, that was the time Osu Castle or Christianborg Castle was built in Accra.
Salaki Adawan.
Now, there was another castle. Go ahead.
Am I right? Am I right in thinking Accra is the capital of Ghana?
Accra is the capital city of Ghana. Can. So there is another castle, and as a matter of fact, this was the first castle that was built in Ghana here. That time it was called the British named it Gold Coast. When they came here, they found a lot of gold, so they called this side of the world Gold Coast. It wasn't called Ghana back then. Now, this was the first castle that the Portuguese built. They built it in Elmina in 1482. In 1482, they built this castle, and that is where the church called Society of the Propagation of the Gospel started. Let me repeat the name again. Society of the Propagation of the Gospel Church that is known as the Church of Anglican or the Church of England. That is where it started from. And I have been in all these castles. And when you go to Elmina Castle, my brother, you cry.
It's
In
like
Elmina Castle, the moment you enter, you could still smell blood in the castle. The moment you enter, you still smell gunpowder in that castle. And you could feel that there are some spirits are still within the castle, which doesn't get rest. You could get that feeling that something very, very bad has happened in that building. And when you go to that castle, where the Portuguese built their church, under the Portuguese church was the female slave dungeon. So every time the Europeans were giving thanks to white Jesus, Caesar Borgia, when they were worshiping their idols, our foremothers, they were catching hell down there. And now they came back and tell us that we have to accept white Jesus so that we can go to heaven. But we, the children of Israel, we have come to understand, we have come to reason together that white Jesus is BS. How could you tell me to accept white Jesus while you are still killing my forefathers? Is that love?
Hey, Salakia, King. Hey.
So we know that the so-called white people came with BS. And we don't have time for that any longer.
Bezalel, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Adwan.
Hey, what you saying, man? Hey, this is real history of our people, man. The spirit, the spirit identified with our spirit, man. You know what I mean? And this is only our people that are gonna really feel it, because especially the people who have a connection to our ancestors. They will feel these type of things, especially when they go to these type of places, right? You have something to say, Abaya?
Khan Adwan. To add to what Adwan Bezalel was saying about the Church of England, if you're not familiar with the Church of England, it was actually started, or it was Christianity was altered by a king in England called Henry VIII, and basically he wanted to divorce his wife, but he couldn't because of the current rules in Christianity was not allowing him to divorce his current wife. So he actually established the Church of England, which is a Catholic sort of derivative of the standard church. So he enabled himself by his own rules to divorce whichever wife he wanted to and marry another wife. And he also had some of these women beheaded. So that also goes into the kind of same sort of spirit that they had employed at that castle, where they were our sisters and our foremothers were going through hell in the dungeons in that castle. So it all kind of lines up with each other.
That's right. Go ahead, Bezalel.
Khan. So we know that the so-called white people never came down here with the right. And as a matter of fact, let me bring this in. When they came, they wanted to steal a certain things from us. So out of frustration, they decided to rule over us. But our forefathers back then, they were not that weak. So they decided to fight the British. And they've defeated the British on several occasions. There were several wars that happened, and we defeated the British on several occasions. But the British don't tell. They say they are great, but we made them small when they came here to disturb. Now, during the first Anglo-Ashanti War, which is also known as Insamanko, the Battle of Insamanko, which happened on the 20th January 1824. The British came down here with their commander called Sir Charles Makati. Sir Charles Makati came here with rubbish, and our forefathers made sure to take off his head. They took off that man's head. Understand? So the British had to go back and come back with more troops, and we defeated them again. They went back to Europe and brought machine guns. That is how they were able to defeat our forefathers, because our forefathers were able to march them up. They were marching the British up when the British came here to disturb. And Abaya, you know, forefathers did not know how to shoot that well, but the spirit was upon them back then, so they were shooting right. It's just that we, the modern day generation, we don't know how to shoot. We just point gun on our own brothers. Forefathers, they were shooting right, in style. They were shooting in style. Understand? Our forefathers, they were great shooters. They were killing. Understand? But we, the modern generation, we've been corrupt. We don't know where to point the gun right. So our forefathers, they were very, very great people. So the Akan people are known for a whole bunch of things. And now, when you go to places like Ivory Coast, you will find them over there. They are called Baule. The Baule people, they are Akan people. When you go to Jamaica, you find them over in Jamaica. They are called the Cromanti people. They are our brothers. They call, we in the name of Yahweh, we say Onyankopon. We call Yahweh Onyankropon. In Jamaica, the Cromanti people, they call him Yankipon. Understand? So among these people living in Jamaica, you can find a woman like Granani. She was a warrior. She was an Akan woman. Among the Cromanti people living in Jamaica, you can find man like Chief Techi or Nana Techi. The Jamaicans, they call him Taki. He is an Akan man. When you go to a place like Guyana in South America, when you go to Guyana, you have a square called Revolutionary Square. You will find a statue, a man by name Fi. He was the fighter for brothers and sisters in Guyana. He's a freedom fighter. He is an Akan man. When you go to a place North America, you will find a area is an account and a step right here. Anna, go every Bukagas is right here. Is our great mother. Understand? So we know that Akan people were known for their fighting skills. Akan people, they were well known. They are brave. They are. Now, so say Bezali, why saying this? To that most of this in America, you are accountable. Let me give you an example. There is a movie of a nation. When you watch that movie called The Birth of a Nation, you just check the opening scene and ask yourself that why is it that Esau will bring such an historical movie with such a language? And we know that who were shipped to Americas to serve as slaves are the true children of Israel. And the language that they spoke when they go to Americas was the Akan Tree language. So when you watch the movie called The Birth of a Nation, that was the language that your forefathers spoke when they got to Americas. Now the so-called white man has taken everything away from us. So this time when you hear your brothers on the other side of the world speaking that language, you think that they are Hamites. No, we are one big family. So-called white man is propagating against us. Tell your history, telling you that we are the one out. But that's not the case. That is never.
Basilia.
Go ahead.
I say you was breaking up a little bit right there, but when you was bringing when you mentioned about that movie, The Birth of a Nation, right? You remember you was talking about the language you was speaking, the tree, right? The tree language that they had in subtitles below in the movie. If you remember, Yasharala, in that movie, the subtitles that they was putting below when they were speaking that language. Basically, tell them what it actually was saying. Could you hear me?
Hold on, he got froze. He froze up. He got kicked out. Hold on. 1 second. There we go.
Be patient with us, Yasharala. Be patient with us, Yasharala. Basically, what I'm about to have him bring out, because he spoke about this the other day, where there was where the language that they were speaking, when they were speaking that language, Esau not gonna put the truth. He gonna give you some truth, hoping that you don't know, so he gonna go over your head, right? So he put stuff out there in his movies, but a lot of our people don't know our history, like I said earlier, so it goes over their heads, right? Example, that movie 1492 in Columbus, where they speak about the Apocrypha, following the book of Ezra, right? Little stuff like that. And Bezaliah, you can hear me now? Bezaliah, can you hear me?
Slacky, Adwan, say that again. I did not hear you.
I was saying to speak on that part where he's talking about the movie, where there was the language that they was speaking. You know how Esau put what he wanted to put for the interpretation. Tell them what it actually was saying, what the language is actually saying.
I think his internet's buffering at the moment because he's been on so long. The server's probably throttling his data.
Come on. Yep. Y'all a bit more different. See, we take the internet and rush it. They actually have to work some things. But they actually have to work. He has a certain and use the internet. He can't touch it at all. And it just was forced. He's back. Let's go.
Bezaliah, you hear me?
Slakia, I can't.
Say it again, King. Say it again.
Man, Esau don't want this information to come out.
Nah, they don't. But you know, basically, what the brother was doing, like he said, Esau, you know, he put his own little translation in there, but that was not what the word was saying, right? And the brother brought it out that it actually was saying something totally different, right? And if you really understand what actually was being said, it will reach you a lot different. That's what he was saying in the movie. The movie would touch you a little bit different, especially if you know what was being said right then, right? You there, Basilio?
He's still having difficulty.
Hey, so like touching on what Adam and Barnabas is basically saying, is like we take this kind of technology for granted, even though we're in slavery and we're in that captivity. There's certain things that we kind of have, which the other nations or other countries around us don't even, There's been numerous times Adam and Bezalel's not had electricity for a couple of days, hours, and these kind of things. We take it for granted. We can go and turn on a switch, and a light comes on, turn a tap, water comes out of it, and it goes to show that we just got to thank the Most High for everything that we've got each and every day that we wake up in the morning and open our eyes. We've got to give those praises and send those prayers up, thanking Yahweh for another day to repent and come into this truth.
All right.
Hey, that's facts, man. Like, because we from Trinidad, what I mean? I'm from Trinidad, and we deal with it a lot back home. Till this day. You'll wake up and the whole area gonna be in darkness or something.
Yeah,
then you wake up in the morning hoping you have water in the tap. I remember talking about, man, they got hot water up there, yo. And like, y'all got hot water in y'all taps. We had to boil water and put that shit in the bucket. We had to fill a bucket up, pour hot water in that thing if we want some hot water. But sometimes because the water might be kind of cold in the morning.
So
it's stuff that we take this stuff for granted. That's what the brother's touching on. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, King.
Or even Salakia, you fill up the water and you leave it in the hot sun for the evening time. So when you get back, you got hot water or warm water to take a shower or bath.
You mightn't have no gas in your house. You know what I'm saying? So you can't boil no water. I mean, and this is facts. You go to the neighbor house, yo. Shalom, Basil, you back?
Can you hear me?
Cool. Yes, we can hear you now. So you go to your neighbor to borrow the gas tank. You see them on TV. They had a gas tank on their shoulder. Because we have to go buy our gas tank. So you might have to go borrow from the neighbor. And I could borrow your gas tank so I could cook real quick. This type of stuff that we had to go. So we take this type of stuff for granted, and that's what we're talking about right here with the brother. Because the brother do it. He make a sacrifice. I think he's like 5 hours ahead of us. So right now it's morning time for him, but he stays up and he do his due diligence to put his brick in. All right, so we gotta be thankful. The brother Abaya as well, all right, because he's over there in the UK. So these brothers are a couple hours ahead of us. So we gotta do what we gotta do, Israel. You know what I mean, to put our work in, so we can't make excuses. All right. Go ahead and Bezalel. You can hear me, right? Bezalel.
I can hear you, but there is a break. There is a break.
All right, we had to get ready to wrap it up in a second. So touch on that that movie that what is it?
Birth of a Nation, I don't.
Birth of a Nation. Birth of a Nation, where he's talking about the language. Yeah, he disconnected again.
All right, we're gonna try one more time.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, then we're gonna have to get a part 2.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a part 2. We might have to record it and let's do it like that.
But this brother been adamant about getting y'all a lesson and letting y'all see what it is on this side of the pond. So we really want to try to look it out. Let's see, he's trying to come back in again. Let's see.
So you just let him go when he comes back in. Let him talk when he comes back in. Hopefully that gives his connection stable.
Go ahead, Bezalel.
You got
Go
the
ahead,
floor.
Go ahead, Bezalel. Go ahead and start from birth of a nation.
Yeah, you should type it so that I'll be able to see.
Yeah, dude, speak on Birth of a Nation. The movie. Bezalel.
All right.
No, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I see it, Mike. It's like some this. I want that part too, man. Let's leave you clean. You good?
You can't hear us?
All right.
You can't hear us, Bezalel?
Nah, he's having. So this is what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do. We're gonna make a part two of this. We're gonna do a part two of this. Week after that. So brother can finish. It's only about half of the group. So and I want to know about this birthday. We can start pick up right there with that movie. And so he can give us the correct information. We hope that y'all that you learned something out of this. We're able to do tonight. Salakia, we're sorry for not being able to get all the technical things down packed. Hey, Besley, can you hear me?
Akan, I can hear you.
Okay.
Should take his camera off, other one.
Yeah,
So
turn your camera off.
There is a break. There's a break.
Okay, turn your camera off and finish. Just go ahead and turn so that your audio will be clear. If people really want to hear this lesson, they're not playing.
So take your camera off, Bezalel, and start back from Birth of a Nation. Speak back on that movie. Take off your camera.
So Salaki, other one, turn off your camera before you do anything.
You know what? Let's go ahead. So we can have all this worked out next week. Next week, if we just do part two, we're gonna start at about 8 o'clock.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can hear you.
Slakia, oh yeah, can you hear me?
Can't other one. You need to turn your camera off so there's no interruption in your communication.
Okay.
Yeah, so he heard that pretty fast.
Yeah,
because I think we're on the same side of the world, so it's not that difficult.
Okay, yeah, he's still having problems. Hi, Israel. We tried multiple times. You saw it. But we are going to do a part two of this. The water for the brother for the accident lessons. Trust me, you can't get away from this. We're going to finish this. People want to hear this. So, you know what I'm saying? We already at an hour, almost an hour and a half already. So, we did pretty good. We actually did pretty good. Listen, I'm going to just tell y'all straight up. He said some things, and we've been going over his lesson. He said some things tonight that all three of us were like, what?
I know.
I'm in my phone. I'm literally in my phone trying to look it up. It's soldiers in our camp trying to look it up. Some of the captains is trying to look it up. So that's just to let y'all know. Look, yo, you know what I'm saying? When Sons of Thunder says that we really out here trying to push this word and we out here trying to push it to every Israelite, we out here trying to push it to every Israelite, man. We're not the biggest camp. We working. Them bricks, the steady stacking. We working, man. We got the brother Bezali in Ghana. We got the brother Abad in the UK. And that's to bring y'all different perspectives, different thought patterns. We're trying to make y'all help y'all see all Israel is dealing with something in its own way, shape, and form. It ain't just what we dealing with over here in America. It ain't just what Judah got going on, man. And I'm gonna allow the brother to answer this question because I saw it in the chat and I saw a brother answer it for him. But I want to know, Bezali, are you Benjamin or Judah?
Yeah. I don't want Bezalel's a Benjamite.
Hey.
He's a Benjamite?
Benjamin with Judah tendencies.
God.
Hey, you know we're the smallest tribe, so I'm trying to recruit, you know?
Yeah, you keep on recruiting, man. Keep on. Judah strong over.
Hear me.
You're breaking up, Adawan.
What do you say, Bezalel?
So can we hear
I'm trying to off the camera, but it is still not working.
Oh, can't. If you do leave, turn off your camera before you come back in. You don't have to have your camera on when you come back into the studio.
Okay. Put a 7 in the chat. Put a 7 in the chat if you was edified tonight and you want to hear more, so we can make sure we get you a part 2, maybe even a part 3. The next thing gonna be coming from across the pond in UK. So Joe Biden from across the pond in UK. But put a 7 in the chat. You want to see you want to see more from Ghana, and put a 12 in the chat if you want to hear something from the UK. That's a lot of 7s. Akra put 77. You wicked out. You don't be over. Y'all be over righteous, man. Yeah, there's some 12s in there too. Yeah, get them 12s in there. Yeah, we want to hear about that. Get them 12s in there.
Hey man, we got all kinds of perspectives.
I crossed. I crossed. You'll put 112 in that next watch. You know he old school from Atlanta.
Hey, Salakia, Adawan. But even like getting this far into Adawan Bezalel's lesson from what we went through from the days before, it just gets even more and more, edifying. So yeah, I want to hear the part 2 as well.
Con, we're gonna make sure we bring that. We're gonna bring that.
You see, I'm trying to add more into it. I'm over here trying to tell my, hey, bring out everything. Get all that meat off that bone.
Con. So the people want to see. They want both of y'all. So they want to see both of y'all. Y'all might have to actually do a joint lesson then. Y'all might have to do a joint lesson.
Con.
We want to see both of y'all.
That's
So
right.
I think this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna out with part 2 next time to get ready, and he can come in after Bezali does his next week, and then we can get all the perspectives of all the things that you see. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. We got some things in store for y'all. There's a couple other things we got going on, and again, Barnabas, go ahead, talk to the people about Tabernacles, getting ready for Tabernacles, and the other classes that we have. I'm gonna pull something up real quick on my screen so that I can talk about it.
Akan Israel, RSVP, ASAP. All right, make sure you let brothers know what's going on because we have limited space. All right, but we want our people to be there so we could gather together. All right, we want to make sure that we keeping the laws and keeping the word of the Most High. All right, we can't say that we love Him if we're not doing His word, man.
Facts.
All right, so let's gather ourselves together, like the scriptures say. All right, we speak a good game, but our actions back it up now, man. All right, I always say I want to do better with that, and I'm trying to apply it right now. You know what I mean? So let's all make that effort that we could take. A lot of y'all probably didn't even take the day off yet, right? Y'all probably didn't request y'all day off as yet, man, for these feasts coming up, man.
Right.
Let's get more serious with this stuff, Israel. We know what's coming up. Y'all know every year the stuff come around, man. Every year, and we act last minute with this stuff every year. All right. So let's get a little bit better. Like I want Ikarab always tell us, every day, get a percentage better, man. Be better than you was yesterday. All right. So let's deal with that. Don't forget, tune in every week. We got jewels and gems dropping, man. And they ain't coming out of no swine's nostrils either. All right. We got gems dropping, man. Milk Mondays. Right? You got brothers bringing it out on Milk Mondays. You got the Adawan Eliel on there. He heading that off. You got Truth Tuesdays. Right? You got the captains on there bringing it out as well. Right? And touching on the law. Because the law is true. Right? The law is true.
They got too many chapters on Tuesdays. I'm complaining. I'm sending an official complaint. Too many chapters on Tuesdays, man. Y'all cheating.
Flag on the play.
Go ahead.
Hey, man, they got that muscle over there. You know what I mean? You got the rock over there. Got the rock coming up under the good guidance. You see what I'm saying? But this is what we want, man. We want to see our people coming out and being edified, and the brothers are well prepared for that, man. All right, you got Thursday Night Thunder. Well, Wednesdays, Wednesdays still open. Who knows? We might have something coming pretty soon. I'm gonna speak it in existence. We might have something coming soon for Wednesday too for y'all. But Thursday Night Thunder. All right, we try to keep it good, juicy for y'all. I'm bringing some good word for y'all, man, to edify the people. Don't forget Friday to call in. You're not always going to be on YouTube, so get that number to call in. All right? Don't miss that call. That's where you can get all your questions answered. Even if you got email, you got all the stuff you can respond, but that'll be the best place to get your questions answered because you have all the captains there at your disposal, but they will answer your questions for you. All right? Because one thing we don't do, we don't hold back no punches, and we don't leave no question unanswered either. Right. We're gonna push this word with confidence, all right, and uplift our people, man. So come to camp, hashtag come to camp, on the Saturdays for the Sabbath. But hey, y'all don't miss these classes during the week. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we got some gems for y'all. All right, so tune in, man. All
right, don't forget about that. Go ahead, King.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Esau not messing with you. We can hear you.
Yeah. Esau didn't like your lesson.
I'm very, very sorry. You
good.
We
gonna hit him with a part two. We gonna hit him with a part two, man. We gonna hit him with a part two.
Can.
We gonna be more prepared that time. We gonna have some images for y'all too. You know what I mean? So we gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. Go ahead, Adawan.
Oh, don't forget about Saturdays. Don't forget about the Sabbath classes that not the Sabbath class, but the live on Facebook that we do every Saturday when we're at camp. Some of y'all are complaining that we're not putting out a lot of camp videos, and we've been noticing sometimes that's all y'all want to watch is just the camp videos. But we got lessons that y'all need to be paying attention to. Camp videos on a weekly basis. You not tuning in on Facebook on Saturdays because you can watch the whole camp on Saturday on live and know before we actually put it up on YouTube. Telling y'all, You have it. Go on Facebook and subscribe to us on Facebook, and you're missing out. You're missing out. Also, when I talk about that, I can't forget. Hey, subscribe to the Patreon. You get all the goodies on Patreon. You get pictures, podcasts, videos. On that Patreon. Trust me. A lot of live events going on in that Patreon. And y'all like, yo, that's really how they get down? Yeah, that's how we get down. That's what we do. All right, it's some things that we can say on Patreon that we can't say on YouTube. We just put it that way. It's some things we can get away with over there that we can't do over here. And we're going to use it to the best of our ability too. Not through Summit coming up. I said this in the beginning of the class, and I'm going to say it at the end of the class. August the 6th through the 8th. August 6th, we will be having camp at Woodruff Park at our normal camp, right? Actual Summit that starts at noon, right? August the 8th, we will be having our family cookout. Now I'm gonna tell y'all about this family cookout. If y'all never had a chance to actually mingle and spend some time with your brothers in Israel, with your sisters in Israel, this is the time to do it. That's the time to do it. It's a whole different atmosphere. It's a whole different vibe when you're around those type of people. When you in that situation, you actually get to feel at home amongst your people, and you ain't gonna be worried about what's gonna happen with Esau and nobody else if they roll up, because we got security waiting for that. We're gonna be dealing with that.
Con.
We're gonna make sure we handle all those issues for y'all, so y'all can just relax and have a good time. Eat a burger.
Enjoy and come and get edified.
That's so. Hey, this is another Thursday night thunder.
Thunder.
I am. I am. Captain Benaiah.
I am Soldier Barnabas.
Soldier Abaya.
Hey, shalom, shalom.
That's Soldier Bezali. And we are the sons of thunder. It is our heart's prayer and desire that all Israel may be saved. Huh?
That's right.
Hey, don't forget who got next? Who got next?
We got next.
That's right. Hey, guess what, Esau?
Can't get away.
You can't get away.
And we never liked you either.
Esau cannot never. We are coming back.
That's right. I'm Israel. Adawan, whose man is this? Whose man is this? You feel better, Adawan. Shalom, Yisrael.
Shalom.
Shalom.